time to hang out with friends. I'm Jalen Holston. It's an episode of Team Huddle. We're going to talk about some volleyball stuff. It's going to get wild. It's going to be crazy. Little Nationals recap for you from my end. But joining me as always is Keone McKee, Nolan Chang, and Jared Shirai. How are we doing today, boys?
I'm hanging on.
We chilling.
Brother, I am also hanging on.
You hanging on something different, though.
I am hanging on by threads and needles, my man. Threads and needles. Well, gentlemen, as always, it's been a while, mate. So get a good check in on you, and then we'll get into some topical things, and we'll just get after it. You know, not really a super heavy topical show today. We got one little scenario we'll kind of talk through and see what our coaches have to say about. But other than that, it's kind of an open-ended book today. I like that format sometimes. So, yeah, Keone, how you doing? How's your beer league?
Doing. Before I get into what I want to say, I was going to say it's funny because not to just go super off topic here, but somebody complimented your speaking voice for the podcast and said that you have a very nice podcasting voice. So I just wanted to let you know that on the pod. So for your one super fan out there.
We don't. Even Henry said that though.
Damn.
Well, it's just like, Nolan's is more so that his mic is so low that nobody can hear it most times on the edit.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. My mic gain is turned up. Let me see what happens if I do this. How's this sound?
That actually sounds a lot
like
better.
Man. No.
Does it actually sound
Say it with your it actually sounds a little bit louder.
It does.
All right,
Yeah,
maybe
it
I'll
actually
just
does sound louder.
I think I didn't turn the gain up before because it came in kind of like crackly on the actual recording, but we'll find out, I guess, this episode. Let us know in the comments, gentlemen.
Or we will.
Ladies.
Or lady, gentlemen, or gentlemen.
Ladies that were
all
gentlemen
the
and gentlemen that were ladies. You know.
all-
Yeah, I'm
We
just going to
accept all
cut you
here.
off
Happy
right
Pride
there and
Month.
talk about
Happy
reciprocal.
Pride.
Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month.
and the monarchy
And everyone knows in
things.
the volleyball world, Pride Month and volleyball tend to go hand in hand a lot. So
We're
Oh,
trying
it
to break
does.
that stigma a little bit, Nolan. It's like not everybody who plays for is of that,
I'm just saying that
Team.
we're welcoming.
But
This sport is for
probably, you know.
everybody.
but probably.
Yeah, but probably, you know.
Well, speaking of what happened this week for our team, it was another win. So, it's been a good little win streak thus far. I've been kind of trimming the fat, per se, for the team. And it's funny because now I've realized how many of my
Teammates are
coworkers /
fat?
teammates
Oh, no.
actually listen to this podcast. Because the more, So that was Nolan Chang, by the way, in case you're wondering.
My name is Jared Shirai.
But yeah, so
Dumbass.
it's funny because
Mickey
I realized over the last few episodes how many of them actually listened to it. So if there's anything that's said on here regarding the team, just know that everything I've said in the past is 100% true. I meant it about all of you guys. You need to pick it up. We need to win the rest of our games.
Get in shape. Hit the gym.
Trim the
I
fat.
just told them the in the group chat that we had that I have like a set goal in mind for what I want the end of the season to look like as far as like our record and stuff. I don't think it's a big ask for them considering how well they've done in the last couple of weeks. They've definitely picked it up, gotten a lot better as far as like, playing actual volleyball. So I just said I want to win the next 3 games. It's the end of the season, the last 3 games for the season, and I want to end it with all 3 dubs. And I did say I want to sweep at least 2 of those. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I set the bar high. I just expect them to perform. So thus far, it's been pretty good. Other than that, I mean, thankfully my dad did not show up at this last game because
It was ugly.
Would not have been satisfied.
well, that team got smashed by us. So I just meant more like he would have still had something to say, even though we I went on like a 10-0 serving run. So you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those like, all right, okay. So what do you have to say?
We still let them score 7 points. So what were you
Yeah,
doing?
exactly. It would have been like,
Lazy
yeah, but they
ass
hit
bitch.
double digits. I'm like, yeah, but Dad, we beat them like
Why
21
don't
to
you just
7.
score
in the
25
first one.
serves in a row, Keone?
Yeah,
Why
I
10?
know.
Come on.
Yeah, either way. Anyway, But yeah, that's not what this pod's about.
Oh my god. Well,
could be.
Jared, as the eldest
could
of
be.
the council here,
What
in
does that have
terms
to
of
do with this?
experience, of course, and not age, definitely not that. It's just the experience and the knowledge within the, you know,
Pardon, Jalen. He's still drunk.
probably. But yeah. So how was your week, buddy? How you doing?
No, it was good. So no high school, right? We're done with high school. We're done with all that. Girls club, 2 practices went pretty well. Boys had their first tournament this past weekend.
Ooh.
We went 3-0. It was great. Unlike Nolan's one when you get to see them.
Oh,
No,
I'll get there.
I was like, well, I mean, we're ranked pretty high. I mean, we're not in gold. I think we dropped it. What did we top a silver, Nolan?
I mean, I'm not anymore, but you are
I
probably
was like,
still.
but we are, right? Yeah. So, but it was a 3. We played only pool play. But I don't feel like we played any good teams. Basically, like I don't feel like we were challenged. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
Losers.
we'll put it this way.
Losers.
Everybody we played, there's only one team that got into the 20s, and it was the last game of the day. So, and we are off for
Damn.
2 games prior to that. Other than that, it was like kind of like 25-15 ish, or maybe 17 was the most. But it was good. It was the first boys tournament. It's nice to get back into boys season. The group of kids that we have did qualify with a bid, so now it's just about getting them their reps, getting them ready for Salt Lake City in July. So far, it's been a good week. Although tomorrow will be a horrible practice, I'm going to say it, because with I have an 18s team, I have all seniors except for 3 kids, and all the seniors have their senior night stuff, senior night festivities at Universal. So like 5 of them had already said like, "Oh, we're not coming on Wednesday." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So yeah, you know, I thought that we should just cancel practice and make a team bonding out of it and go to Universal as a group.
That
Yeah,
sounds like the
that'd be-
move. I'm not gonna lie.
That's like when your parents invite
Yeah.
themselves to your graduation party.
Hell yeah! I want to go to Universal. Come on, man.
That's
We
it, too
decided to
bad.
bring your aunt
Just to
and
embar-
uncle and your little cousins too, so you can hang out with them the whole time.
Yeah,
your
son,
friends
we're gonna
are
be there
around.
volunteering. Like,
No, we're just gonna go there to embarrass
Oh,
them.
oh, what?
I'm not like
Oh,
other
God.
parents. I'm a cool parent.
Oh,
You're gonna be one of those, Nolan.
Please no. Oh Christ on the cracker. Of course my earphones die right at that given juncture. Give me 2 seconds and I'll throw these bad.
So Jalen can't hear us. What a loser!
Everybody's done talking.
trash.
You stupid!
Look at that hair.
Dang, dog, you got real personal right there.
I think he
we
heard
was
me.
all just, we were all just doing
Look
our
at his
random-
grumpy face. He heard you for sure. Now he's
Let me
mad.
change my
This is
headphones
fun.
midway through.
Well, in order for you to change your headphones, Jalen, you gotta have the headphones on. so
Say
you can hear what's going on.
applesauce if you're coming to Vegas. Say applesauce if you're not coming to Vegas.
Do I have to go out and go back in?
Ha ha! You didn't say it.
Oh, what the hell, daddle.
Click on
He'll
your
probably have to-
speaker.
he might
button
have to-
and see
he
if
might
the
have to
options
leave.
there.
He might have to leave.
Wait.
All right.
All right. I
blind.
think I'm
Testing.
back. I think I'm
Can you
back.
hear
My
us?
boy.
Testicle.
Yep, we good. We good. I can hear you. All right.
All right.
Right
All
on.
right on.
Sorry that everyone had to deal with that for the last minute.
Sorry, indeed.
I did not
sorry.
realize how big that fro was until you threw them headphones on.
Yeah, bro, it packs down really nice.
It looks beautiful though. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You should have
Finally,
Afro
Nolan
off
Chang.
in Vegas, with Shalmar, right,
Shut
Jalen?
your goddamn
See you
mouth.
there, buddy.
I'd punch you right in the jejunum. But anyway, Nolan, how was your week? It looked like you were really excited to talk about your tournament, and you had a lot of things to say. Positive.
There were 3 wins that happened in my pool and 0 as well.
Oh, Jimmy.
We were the 0.
Jimmy.
Yeah, it was a rough go.
You guys are like the Lakers.
Wow. Check out after the buzzer. When you go at it. But it wasn't about the Lakers.
You know what, Jared? LeBron is the greatest of all
Yes,
time.
pounce.
Pounce,
Clip
pounce,
that.
pounce.
Clip
You
that.
gotta change it.
I
Clip
said
that.
it in the last pod, too. He said pounce then, too.
Well, you also said Michael Jordan again after. So, which one is it? Is it Kevin Durant?
We had an inside joke that if the Celtics would have pulled off that reverse sweep, we would have said that Jason Tatum was the GOAT instead of LeBron. Anyways,
tune in
Not
after
with
the
that
buzzer.
performance.
At least our guy can play on an injured foot, right? Anyways, join after the buzzer to hear our
Yeah, I was
basketball
like-
takes. But yeah, my boys decided to completely shit the bed in our pool.
like
The
Amber
day
Heard
started off
quality.
terrible
shit in the bed?
because we had a
Oh,
PM pool.
Like Amber Heard.
We had
Oh, was it a better quality than that? Was it
it was bad.
compactual?
It was bad.
Okay, so it was everywhere.
We
is what you're
we
saying.
had a PM pool, and of course, my pool was the pool that plays right after the gold pool one of the morning. So it's all the top. I would say 4 to 8 teams splitting between the top 2 courts, and it's pretty evenly matched. So pretty much, most of the games went to 3, and we get there pretty much an hour early before our pool's supposed to start, and they're 2.5 games behind. So we didn't start our pool for quite some time since we were there. And we were in the smaller gym, and it felt like a sauna because all the athletic body heat going on in there and all the fans. It was great. So we eventually started the pool, and of course we play our crosstown rivals in the first game. And my boys just looked terrible. The passing was off. Couldn't hit the ball in the court. Couldn't serve the ball in the court. Blocking was abysmal. It was a great time. Yeah. Needless to say, the next 2 games after that did not go any better. But after the second loss, pretty much took them outside, had a little team meeting. And of course, the parents decided, oh, this is the best time to come join them while they're outside. And pretty much me and my assistant coach were just laying into them, grilling them hard, calling out players. How many times did we tell you to block angle, not line? And we pointed at one guy. He's like, 5 times, coach. I was like, so you knew that we counted 5 times? 5 fucking times? And there was multiple guys who weren't talking to serve receive. There was a new guy, which, I'll give you some leeway on that. The new guy was like, I didn't know who was taking this seam because he called seam here, but he didn't call seam the second time. I was like, well, be a man. Use your voice. You're a big boy. Come on. So we pretty much told them to, have a little team meeting. Captains, you're running this because you guys look like someone just kicked your dog. So I need you guys to figure it out. Came back the third game. Energy was through the roof with our team. The other team was, I think, Rockstar 2's team. They didn't play their starters, which is fair. And still beat us, but it was a little closer games. But the energy that the boys put out and the efforts that they were making, we made a couple back row changes as well. Looked pretty good. So all in all, wasn't a complete loss. There was a little glimmer of hope there that we can work with. But of course, yesterday, our first practice back, half the team wasn't there. Why? I don't know. They didn't tell me until practice started and messaged me, can't make it, coach. I was like, I'm starting the warm-ups now. Why are you telling me this as the boys are warming up on the court in front of my eyes? It's like, sorry, man. Just woke up from a nap. I was like, what the fuck? But
you woke up from a nap?
One guy had a physical therapy appointment and forgot to message me before he took his nap. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Another guy had his mom message me and say, sorry, he has to go do his senior pictures. I was like, yeah, this is an hour after practice started. Why are you messaging me an hour after practice has started? And I know they know about my podcast. So if you guys are listening, get your shit together.
Real question is, could they beat him up in a fight, though?
Who?
Could your team beat up the other team that they lost to in a fight?
Probably, actually, yeah.
Yes!
All right, yeah, all right.
Then you're winning at
that's
something.
Moral
Progress.
victory.
Progress.
go.
Yeah.
Did you win the coin toss?
Yeah.
Did you win
We
warm-ups?
got that serve first. It was great. And one of the moms brought salted caramel cookies. It's fantastic.
Delicious.
There's delicious cookies.
That's what we're about here on the Participation Award podcast.
Oh dear me. Oh,
Hey, little
well,
victories.
As most of the homies in the chat know, I was at Adult Nationals down in Dallas over the weekend. It was an awesome time hanging out with friends. Day one was really good. We went 3-0. Wasn't really that close because I think Double B has gotten a lot worse over the years. We didn't really play a real team until day 3, and that was the first game that we lost in Gold Bracket. So we were 6-0 through there. Had a great time. I think we were all just vibing. Me and my right side from Valley were just kind of, once we got going in all these matches, it was pretty much automatic. But the first match in gold yesterday, oddly enough, the 1 seed in Double B got disqualified, and we found out halfway through day 2 because they used a guy that was playing the weekend before in Double A or something in Open Championships and made 2 AES profiles to try to circumvent that, but they caught him, so they're like, bye, y'all.
Bruh.
Y'all go.
So how did they catch him?
Huh? Somebody just said, hey,
I saw that guy last week.
that guy definitely played last week, and then they just looked it up and they're like, oh yeah, that's not that. Bye, you're idiots.
Is that you? No, that's my better brother. I'm the shitty twin.
I am 12. I am 12.
I have 12. Yeah.
I am 12.
But so that happened, and we'd won 2 games in the morning, and for all intents and purposes, my nicotine thing had broke the night before, so those morning matches was like 12 hours without any form of that. So I was like a sassy bitch the entire morning when we were playing. So like my team kept shanking passes, and I'm like, I need the ball. Put it in my hands. Quit freaking kicking around and serve receive and move your feet. But then we finally won those 2 games, and we got to the 3rd game, and we did like a team vote. We brought a really young guy that was a freshman when I was in high school at the time we were playing. And he ended up setting. So we had the best scenario going into the last day because I got a full game rest, and then we had that whole afternoon off, and then we had a morning match. So it was perfect. But the only other team that we ran into, because of the 1 seed getting knocked out, it affected the other pool that had the other St. Louis team. So that's who we got matched up with on day 3. And that kind of put the stops and the brakes on stuff because they knew us pretty well. We know them pretty well, etc. But it was a good day, good time. Unfortunately, because we lost so early, there really wasn't anything else to do but get hammered and watch the other 2 St. Louis teams that we like to hang out with. And yeah, we had a great nationals all day. So it's a good time. The St. Louis teams showed up and balled out. Our girls took first in A, so they got gold. And then that team that we lost to lost in 3 in the final. Yeah, it was great match. Like first set was a deuce, second set was deuce, third set was deuce. Like it was a good match. So St. Louis took 2. I guess there were 2 St. Louis teams in the top 5 for men's Double B, and then the girls won it for A. So, I mean, great all around debut for St. Louis volleyball community. We were all pretty hyped. Had a good time at the bar after with everybody and all that good stuff. Nothing got broken. Everything was civil. But there's definitely a lot of things consumed for several
Only
hours.
thing broken
Got
is
on
your
the
liver.
flight.
It's like something's gonna break in Vegas, that's for sure.
Right,
Literally
Jalen?
just, like, trying to find the gate. We're like, hey, it's this way. No, it's that way. Shit, it's this way. No, it's that way. Okay, here we go. Get to the gate, bitch. Get to the fucking gate, bitch. But once we got there, we were fine. We got on the plane. Everything was good. Came
Can't
home,
wait for you to
crashed.
do that again in Vegas.
Nope.
Just gonna
Absolutely
keep subliminally dropping it in there somewhere.
I've got multiple days to do. Like, I can't imagine being at school right now trying to teach in my sped classroom. I can't imagine it because that would be the Monday morning that I would deal with.
That's what you're teaching in Vegas.
Shite. Essentially, yeah.
Hammered
Taking care of
individuals.
You ackwagons.
We have Shalimar.
Wow.
He doesn't listen to this pod anyway.
True.
But
That's
he will
very true.
instigate and make you drink a lot.
Oh yes, he
I
will.
live with them. It's great.
Dude, we
Man.
lived
But I
with
did,
him for how many years? I know firsthand.
Literally, I'll walk out of my room after like I clock out of work. He's like, "You coach tonight?" I'm like, no. Take a shot, bitch. I was like, what?
Oh my god.
Oh, good to know that things
Never
have not
change,
changed
baby.
for Shalimar.
I
Yeah.
Not
don't miss
changed
those.
at all.
I don't miss those nights.
Never
Uh,
change.
yeah,
God
for
bless
real.
it. But amongst the chaos yesterday, I got a text from one of my former players' dads. They got in a little bit of a troublesome situation, and they were worried that they were going to lose her scholarship because she had early committed during the fall of this past volleyball season. So I got that phone call, called her up. She's fine. There's no removal of scholarship or anything. But then I know the head coach that she's going to really well. It's one of my best friends from Valley. She's going to like William Penn. So I called that coach and I was like, hey, how'd that phone call go? I told her to call you and explain the situation, blah, blah. She said it went great. But then she hit me with well, she doesn't really know if she's still wanting to come. And I was like, excuse the fuck out of me. So I guess this experience gave her a kind of a freshman freakout moment. And it sounded like a typical teenager, right? Like she got in trouble and now she's like, do I really want to go and do the college thing? Am I going to be in debt? Like all this stuff. So I was just wondering if anybody else in the chat had that kind of freshman freak out experience when we all decided to make that leap and go do the college athlete thing. You know what I mean? Like, did that hit anybody kind of like it hit my player, and she's kind of going through that right now. And we had a great talk at lunch. I mean, I just told her my end. I was like, listen, I love you either way. You're one of my like favorite humans, not volleyball players, just humans in general. But I will say, like, if I have to be completely honest, I think you're going to regret that decision to stay home and do JUCO because of how much I know you love volleyball, and you're going to miss that experience of doing college volleyball stuff, like all that stuff. And I told her about how I met all you guys at Hope, and like, yeah, there's always the student debt shit, but like, I wouldn't trade that experience ever. Like there's no hesitation I would do it again without even knowing like, yeah, you're gonna be a bunch of debt and all this stupid shit. Like no question because it's such a unique thing that we all got to do. So but yeah, Nolan, did you have any of the, I mean, I know it's kind of local for you, but
Yeah.
It's crazy
somewhat New
because
Orleans,
as you were
but-
saying that, I was just thinking, I was like, I think we all had different versions of how we ended up at Hope, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, I came in as a second year technically. Jared came in obviously like a little bit older. I think Nolan's like the other one who came in technically like, oh, well, I guess Jalen
too.
came in normal,
True
but
freshman.
then
Yeah.
Jay ended up moving to another one. So as I said, there's so many different versions of our how we got to Hope.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say from my firsthand experience I had any real freshman freak out. But you meet a lot of people as you kind of go along in college who do have that, whether that's because they're funding their means of going to the college. Like for example, my first year roommate. Trying to make. I think you met him, Keon. Did you ever meet Connor?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He was my freshman year, and then he had some like crazy health issues because he was like type 1 diabetic, and it was like draining him of energy to go to class, and he had to do this huge withdrawal from the school and from semesters, and didn't end up returning back the next year. With then when they said like, oh yeah, if you can get your health back in line, we'll allow you to come back enrollment for your sophomore, or technically I guess redo of freshman year. But you get these different people's experiences, and you know that not everyone's going to have the same upbringing or the same opportunities or um, quality of life you are in at the time when you meet them. And I think that's a bigger thing to understand because people, especially young kids who are going to college, what does media make college seem to be?
Yeah, it just seems like you're there to party. You know what I mean?
You're
Sometimes,
partying, or
or
you're
you're
stressing
living
about
life.
finals, and you only get one kind of clear image of what you think the college life will be, or your post high school experiences will be. um, and I think that does scare a lot of people, especially if you're going in considering being a collegiate athlete. you're gonna have to realize, oh, how am I gonna meet new people and be friends? How am I gonna balance my schoolwork with my practice life, my off-season workouts, and all this
It's a
good
lot.
stuff? And it can be daunting on a lot of people. I don't I don't look down on anyone who feels that way, especially about certain things, because especially I'm sure Jared can speak to it, and you too, Jalen. Like as high school age coaches, you're gonna meet these seniors who don't know what the fuck they're doing with their life. Like
They
they
don't.
want to play volleyball, they don't want to play volleyball. They maybe have their mindset on going to a 4 year and moving on to college, but not continuing their career as volleyball players. Fine, normally that happens. Then you get these guys who are interested in playing volleyball on the next level, and all of a sudden they're stressing out. I was like, do I have to go through the NCAA clearinghouse, or what do I do about this? Am I supposed to make a video? Like, I don't know what to do, coach. Am I supposed to go to these camps to get exposure? I was like, you can do all of those, or you can do none of them. It's really up to you. Like, I don't want to say that there's one way of doing anything. For me, I didn't do many of the clearinghouses. I sent my videos to Hope International and got a response back. You get players who maybe get a business card handed to their head coach when they go to a club tournament, and all of a sudden that coach can kind of be a liaison between them and the college. So there's never one pathway that they have to go about it, but I think that they worry too much that this is going to be the fuck up. Like, if I don't do this correctly, I have lost all my opportunity. And I think that's a big thing for people to understand, especially young guys out there or girls out there who are considering going into collegiate sports. Ask around. The best thing you can do is ask other people who have been through it. Ask what their experience was, what kind of talks they had with different coaches, with different programs. Did they go to these camps so that they could talk to other coaches? Did they meet other players who have gone through the system or something like that? And I think it's going to pay off a lot more, because you don't want people to get that second thought regarding moving on to do something in college, but it is understandable if you do.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we were at, I think, at lunch, and I just hit her with like basically just all the memories that like I got to experience, and
All the
like,
memories? No.
You remember everything?
Not even that. I'm just like, there were some
ones that are
you
at
probably
least the
should have
least
shared.
fuzzy. You know what I mean? The ones that
Do you remember that time with the pineapple and you?
oh, dear me. But like, it's just like at least the experiences from having that, life, like going to nationals and like doing all this crazy shit. Like, you realize that path doesn't exist if you do the whole like JUCO route and then try to transfer and just do regular college. And like, you already got, like, no offense, you got into this incident, and like, for me, most of sports was like we still did college things, right? But like, it was kind of just that lifestyle of like, we worked hard but we played hard, you know what I mean? But like we had a big match, like we didn't mess around. And that's that team, that sense of being a team and being an adult. Like, you don't get that if you're just doing school. Like, you're just kind of there and you're off on your whims. But when you have like 18 other guys holding you accountable, being like, no, dude, we play Concordia on Thursday, we're doing 48-hour rule. Like, after Concordia, let's go to Shane's and then we'll be good. Like that kind of stuff. You don't get that if you're just there doing just school. You know what I mean? So it's
But I mean, I think you can also you can kind of see the difference, at least from our time at Hope, the difference between the true freshmen who just started at Hope and then the guys who did transfer in. You saw like, there was a bit of more maturity in the guys who transferred in, because it was like, I finished high school, I'm going to school, going to college workouts, and then maybe I have a job. Shut
up, Keone.
You know what I mean? But it is a little different, because I would say I can't speak based off of knowledge, but college JUCOs over in California are a big feeder for universities out into the country, right? I don't know if that's maybe a step down in Missouri or step up, or what the kind of situation is there. But
it's non-existent, and it's something I would like to
sense,
campaign and grow more, because I feel like there's a lot of talent in the metro area, especially that are in that situation, right? They can't go anywhere. Maybe they're stuck after SLU or Vianney, and they don't want to go straight out to like a Pepperdine or whatever. So, I mean, there's there's that too. So we don't have that resource like you guys do, where you can go to go to OCC, Long Beach, whatever. Like you'll be fine, and it's not a big deal. You have so many more options for that.
Yeah.
But
I can see where your worries lie, since it is Missouri based kind of situation.
Yeah. So, Jared, what do you think, brother? Did you have like I mean, I know you didn't have like a freshman freakout moment, but like you had a similar situation she's in. It's a major life change. You know what I mean? Like you went from the homeland, Hawaii, and you went all the way over to the mainland, like, and you had to take care of your son,
working like a grown man
things,
job,
like,
nonetheless. Like
right? Yeah, like
yeah, like I
like
think
you
I was
really,
just saying that's a leap right there, man. Like, because honestly, I think about it now, like with my job and how stable I feel. If I were to be like randomly like right now, because you were what, right about my age, right? No,
What are you now? 29.
He's Jalen's age. He was Jalen's age when he became.
oh, okay, so it's Jalen's age. So I was like just thinking about that moment, because I kind of had a moment like that, like, and having to be like, sorry, boss, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go back to school. Like, I don't think I could make the same decision like you made then. If it were right now, this situation I'm currently in, like, it's
I
crazy.
mean, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like things kind of just fell into my lap in the talks process. Like I said, I talked to Henry, I talked to Noah, I ended up talking to Vic. I was talking to Sam Kalingo because he wanted me to come to Graceland. I wanted to come back to Cal. I was like, dude, I'm not going to Iowa. I'm going to California, and I'm probably going to go to Hope. That's why I called them up. And I mean, I kind of had a little bit of a little freak out moment in a sense. Like it was after everything was done, because I did the registration, I did my transcripts, I did everything I needed to do. I got accepted, and when I got accepted, and I was told, oh, school starts on the 23rd. You got to be here that weekend before. You got to do this. You got to do that. I was like, bruh, that's 2 weeks. I put in my 2 weeks at work, literally the day that I got accepted. But my bosses already knew. I was kind of already talking to him. I was really close with him. Like he was very supportive of everything I was going to do. I told him I was going to go play volleyball too, and he was excited for that, because during lunch we would play basketball and do all these other like sports things and so I had a really good relationship with him. And that 2 weeks, like I freaked out a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I got to buy all this. I got to have that. I'm not going to have an income. Good thing I have a savings. I have this, I have that. I have my credit cards if I need it. And, but it sucked, because for those 2 weeks, I'm not going to lie, I fought with my mom for 2 weeks, because she really didn't want me to go. She's like, I'm the baby of the family, the only boy. I mean, so I'm spoiled and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like,
explains everything.
Seriously?
Oh yeah?
Really?
Oh yeah,
Bruh, you went there? You went there? Wow.
This man's actually gonna get murdered.
Argument part 2. Here we go. Check part 1 on after the buzzer.
Oh yeah, what is it when your parents are here, huh? I cannot play because I gotta go to this. I gotta no. We're not getting into that. No,
you heard that, Dad? You heard that? Said that.
Yeah, this is what he said about you, Dad. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna go listen to my dad before he kicks my ass." And but I really want to tell him, shut up and let me play. No, but
I never said that, Dad. Just so you know. Love you so much.
Cap.
No.
But yeah, I mean, so I get the whole freak out moment. For me, like you said, I'm leaving a steady job. I'm leaving my family. I'm making a big life move. I dormed the first year, half the first year, because the other half I lived with Shalimar
I
and
don't remember you
Keone.
staying
We
there.
know
very
how
long.
that goes.
Dude, I actually the second semester I still had my dorm, but that was when we all decided because Shao wanted to get off campus.
Yeah, I had my
and Keone
dorm
wanted
too, and I
something.
just stayed up till 6 a.m. with you guys. Big mistake.
Facts.
No regrets.
But,
No
yeah, it was tough in that regard. So I understand the freak out portion of things, but as a freshman, like, and being on campus and doing those things, and being a Hawaii boy, because I had the opportunity when I wanted to leave, and I was your guys' age when you guys got to college. I was offered to go to UCLA and play soccer. I was offered to go try walk on at the University of Hawaii, or try and leave somewhere to go play. And I just wanted to be an island boy. Like I had no intention of leaving the island. I just loved what I did. Everybody always asks, right? How are you going to leave Hawaii? I was like, that's literally my excuse. I was like, I never wanted to leave. And then when I given the opportunity, this happened. So for her, when she's having this freak out moment, I get it, because it's more of a mindset kind of thing of, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? What if I go and I suck? And then I love how you talked to her and said it, because without taking a leap of faith, it's you're gonna regret missing out on a lot of things. I would have regretted if I decided to come 2 years later. I wouldn't have met you, Jay. Right? You would
Yep.
have been gone. I mean, just looking at the friend group that we have now, that we still talk to, the people that I've met at Hope, the things that I've done while at Hope. To you, I wait 2 years. I'm 2 years older. I mean, my body's still gonna be, because I'm still playing, but then it gets a little deeper into my life. I don't get to meet you and Tim because Tim didn't play after his freshman year. We don't
Yep.
have that same relationship. And it was like on his senior year, I literally was talking to Tim every day of junior year. And I told him, I was like, hey, I want you to play your senior year. Like, it's your senior year. You got nothing to lose. Like, it's Noah and Henry. You know them. You love them. And like, just the relationships I was able to make just by taking the leap of faith. Going against my mom for probably like the first time in my life, and just say, no, this is what I want to do. This is what's going to happen. And I mean, it's tough. It's not the easiest thing, especially when you're scared to leave the nest and to take that opportunity. And like he only said, we all had different paths of what we did in our 4 years at Hope, or getting to Hope, or where how we ended up at Hope. And for me, it's just like, and it's not to be all spiritual, but it was like God's plan, because it literally was like how it fell into my lap and how easily everything was able to do process wise. And then meeting you guys I think I met Jay on the first day. There's Jay Shalimar. It was Jay Shalimar and Tim, I think. It was the three of us that kind of all hung out together. And then I saw Aaron DuPont because he's from Hawaii. And then later on is when I met Nolan them, and then Keone came into the picture a little later. And it was just, yeah. Without those little the Snapdragon. Snapdragon. With all these little things, I mean, like, it's an opportunity that I wouldn't change for the world, to be honest. Like,
That's not what
That's not what we
meant.
Just like, oh my god, I know.
Dude,
we're all
clip that.
we're all
clip that,
in on this
no.
joke. It's the
Clip
craziest
that
thing.
and tag Aaron in it. Like, no joke.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah.
Clip that and tag Aaron, and I want to see what Aaron comes back with.
I do.
But yeah,
He
for me,
doesn't
that's what it is, as far as like that freshman, the fear of being a freshman and leaving something to go do something bigger than yourself, basically. So
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge and it's difficult, and we talked through pretty much everything at lunch, and I broke it down like bit by bit as best I could, because she, her another big thing for her was the distance part, and I tried to not, I didn't want to like downplay her trauma of like what she's going. I'm sitting there, I was like, well, just for example, like you're going to William Penn. It's about like 3.5 from your house. Like we looked at the map, pulled out our phone, and was like, it's 3.5. So like, let's say Friday you have your last class at 1:00. You can have your bag packed. You'll be home by 4:35, and then you can stay all night, hang out with your fam. You have all day Saturday. You can go back on a Sunday. Like, you can do that every weekend if you wanted to, if you had the gas money. And I'm sure mom and dad will not care if that's what you want to do, and to get through your first semester of college, like that little thing, you know what I mean? And I flipped it back, to my situation. I was like it was me and my mom till I was 5, because I'm a mama's boy. So like, I met my dad when I was 5.
explains a lot too.
All that, but like, yeah, it is. But I mean, I think it hit me like after they had all left, and it was the first night in the dorm before the orientation stuff, where I met like you guys and everybody, and I was just like me, Tim. I think Robert had moved in by then, and I think like that night, as I was trying to sleep, was like, oh fuck, like I'm just like here in California
on your own.
No, the
Like,
first night in the
that's it.
dorms, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, even for me, like in my room, it was like awkward. I could not
Yeah.
sleep because
I
all
was
that,
just like, oh my
because
God.
all that stuff was running through my head too. I was like, dude, I'm here. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in my dorm, but I'm here. Like, just
Yeah.
looking
I
around,
could
staring
sleep
at the
because my
ceiling.
freshman
And
dorm had the sun pointing at it the whole afternoon. It was nice and hot. Nice.
Oh,
that sounds like a
Feel
you
good?
problem.
Feel good on Oh man, but Keone, did you have like a big kind of, I guess you can call it a freshman freak out, but like one of those kind of moments whenever you decided to try the the college athlete route. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
something like it hit you that everything is literally going to change, and you've got to be ready to roll or have that
for
faith.
sure. I mean, it's funny because initially when I went to college, I thought I really wanted to just focus on academics, and I didn't realize how much the athletic part of myself was like a part of me. Where like you had the camaraderie and like you always had kind of a group when you were in school because you always
Mm-hmm.
had your teammates. Like you had a group that you naturally fell in with. And when I first went to college, I decided against doing the big college experience because I actually was choosing between going to Ohio State, the University of Oregon, and where I ended up going, which was
Woodbury.
Woodbury University. And it's funny because I told myself that I didn't want to go to a big school because I was worried I would kind of get lost in the shuffle. Because I remember having these long talks with my counselor, and they were kind of like, you're going to just be a number there. You go to this school, and you'll kind of be in a classroom with like 20 people, and you'll be able to like really get that professor to student experience and all this kind of stuff. And still to this day, I think like, man, I kind of wish I had gone just to get the big school experience.
Yeah.
Because you get all the games, regardless of if you're playing a sport, you can just be in the crowd. But either way, I made the decision to do the academic route and immediately regretted it. And I will say, no matter what, even if this girl is scared that will be something that does end up happening to her, like she goes there and she doesn't have a great experience, which like I did. I had a terrible experience at the college that I went to. Outside of some very fantastic people that I've met, shout out to Jan who was on the podcast
Shout out
earlier. Yeah, like I mean, he's a lifetime friend that I'll forever cherish, and I'll be able to go out in Germany and see him one day. But I always say, like, outside of stuff like that, like the school itself, like for me, it was just a terrible, terrible experience. But at the end of the
Don't
day,
ever
it
listen
was
to this part.
no, but for her, like to me, that was what really got me to prioritize what I really was enjoyed as far as like the school experience and what I enjoyed about going to school in general. And that was really just having a community. And once I was able to leave that school and then transfer over to Hope, got my credits going, talked to Vic like everybody else here did, got on the phone with Vic and got in conversation with him, got the scholarship stuff going, and we transferred over there. It was like Jared said, like it was like God's plan. Like everything just fell into place, like one after the other. Like as soon as I made that decision to do so, I was able to transfer whatever credits I could, get all my transcripts from before, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I till this day still think like even though I ended up kind of not having a great experience near the end of that time there, I do think that like I mean, I met all you guys, you know what I mean? It was like one of those things that you would never, ever, ever trade away for, because that first year specifically, had a great time learning, met Noah and Henry, two of the guys I think really, really pushed further like my ability in volleyball. I think up until that point, like I said, I was one of those guys, I always worked very hard. Like it wasn't necessarily that I was born with like this insane athleticism or like the perfect football body. I had to drop 40 pounds when I first moved from the other school to this one because I was just trying to get as strong as I could. So I went from 225 to 185 while I was playing at Hope. And like I said, man, like I don't regret it at all because literally like everything that I learned there from the volleyball standpoint to just like how colleges work, the scholarship thing, everything with Vic, all that drama, the coaching, all these different things, like I wouldn't trade it. And obviously I had some relationships I made there, some that didn't work out, some that did. But
That's
like
for
I
another
said,
pod.
it's all great memories, regardless, and I would never ever trade any of that memories for anything else. Like honestly, I enjoyed my 2 years or whatever at Hope, and I would never ever take it back. So, so for the freshmen out there, don't freak
sponsor
out.
us.
Make the
Go
choice.
ahead, friend. Yeah, go ahead, friend. Yeah, yeah.
No, I want that one. Whatever he has.
Yeah, it's the easy sport, mate. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good IPA right there. I tell you what. But yeah, that's great stuff, fellas. Great stuff. Listen,
Delicious right now.
if there are coaches listening to this, just be honest with your kiddos about what it's going to be and how it's going to go. You know what I mean? And I think that was the hardest part because I felt like I had done that to that point for this girl. Like I laid out exactly how it was going to go. And to me, you know, and I was blunt as well. I was like, kind of sounds like you were looking for a reason not to go now for some reason, you know, with this. And now we're kind of using that. So it's like, I later
was going to add,
like, oh yeah,
to your point about the distance thing. And I said this for anybody, especially for anybody who's living in Hawaii and doesn't want to leave the rock. Just go out, man. Like, get as far away as you can. And I'm not saying that because I have like this disconnection from my family. Like, I love my family. I am very much a family person. We've always been very tight knit. We do everything together. But that experience of being away and not having the safety blanket to fall back on, like, it is such a formulating experience for any young adult.
Yes.
Like, it literally can just mature you so quickly. Like, it's insane how much of a difference that makes. Like, I remember my first night packed away in the dorms. I remember my parents came with me, got everything set up. You know, we do the runs, we grab the groceries, we grab all the computer, whatever, sit it down. And there's like that moment where they're like, okay, well, our flight leaves in 2 hours. So we'll see you later. And then I'm just kind of like, all right, bye. And then the moment they leave, I was just like, wait, they didn't turn around? You know what I mean? Like, you're just
Come
like,
back.
you're not coming back? What if I get hungry later? Mom!
Mom!
Chasing the car.
Yeah.
No, and
Like, legit.
I would say I agree with that, especially because I would say of the four of us, I was the only one that actually could commute back to my parents. And it was one of those things where, kind of like you mentioned to your girl, that it is just a drive away. If you go on the weekend, you can end up go visit them if it is something being homesick or whatever it may be. And I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why I chose Hope, is because it was close enough if I just wanted to go home. Because growing up, home is all you know. You don't really know much more than that. And I think further into just alone my freshman year is, I told them, like, yeah, I'm not coming home this weekend. Next weekend, yeah, I'm not going to come home this weekend. You just kind of feel that independence kind of coming out of you, and you start realizing that it starts coming up where your mom.
That was when we knew Nolan was going to be living with us. He was just like, hey, aren't you going home this weekend? He's like, no,
fuck this.
Like,
I'm coming to your house, bro.
I was like, so you're just gonna...
Fuck you.
Wow.
Come on the pod.
That was like a whole nother direction of what I was saying.
I'll see you on Father's Day, man.
Jalen, does she have friends who go to William Penn?
No, she'd be solo bolo. I mean, she's,
okay.
You know,
I was like, because that sometimes.
But
makes
she's
a difference
been
too.
to some of the spring stuff. Like, she knows some of the girls already.
She'll make friends. It's easy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Like,
so
she's got a
easy,
tribe already, and the thing that I wanted her to do, which was to go, like, especially for girls. If you are a coach listening and you have a girl that early commits, encourage them to go. If they're graduating high school early, like she did, right? Go to spring stuff, go get the weight room stuff done, go see what it's like on campus, because then if you have this little freak out and you've done at least a semester, you know what I mean? Like, then you know, like, hey, you know what? Like, I didn't even like spring ball. Like, I really don't want to do this. Then you can go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you try to kind of meet it in the middle where they're kind of going to some spring stuff, but they're mainly at home, just working the job, just to wait out to go leave for the fall, then all this other stuff starts to kind of get in the way.
Yeah.
You know?
And once they start the school year, they already have, for better, for worse, maybe they don't become close friends. You already start knowing people on the team right when you start the semester.
Yeah.
And now you can hang out with them, kind of learn the ways
At
of
the very least, your
area.
first name basis with those
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna go
Susie,
play some pickup somewhere.
Lifting?
Like, they'll call you.
Exactly. I mean, that the distance was why I went to Hope, because I was like, if I go to Valley, it's too close. Like, I'm just gonna go home and I'm not gonna learn anything. So, like, I had to be away to figure out, like, I got like $25 in the debit, and that is what we are working with for the week and a half or 2 weeks.
Instant
probably,
noodles.
depending on-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're doing.
$5 pizzas,
Yeah, something.
$5 Chinese plates.
And then once we
Chicken
move
Dude.
to Shalimar, yes, Costco runs. Let's go.
For real though.
You big cookies
Exactly.
today? Let's fucking
Brand new TV at the house. Yes.
Earthquake hits. TV gone.
Full loaded bar. Let's go.
Next day, credit card, new TV. Let's go.
Oh, so your Joakim Noah can shoot better than my Joakim Noah, and that's why,
Because you got a new
how is this
TV.
fair?
That's why.
He's got a new TV. Some bullshit. But all of
This is
these
why you
things
have to
don't
come
happen.
to Vegas, Jalen.
Maybe.
You're
He said
joking,
maybe,
Noah.
Pounds. Pounds. He said pounds.
Not.
There's already a hotel room for you. Come on.
Nolan's waiting
Oh,
for you.
Show up.
No.
But yeah, I mean,
think
that
Well,
inside
Karen's doing
joke
time share
alone
now. He didn't say that.
is reflective of the experience we're talking about. When you,
Yeah.
like, the thing we wouldn't trade. Yeah, the student debt sucks, but, like, honestly, they keep delaying the thing anyway, so it really hasn't turned out that bad for me so far, but
Next
yeah,
pod,
they keep
they
that
stop
going,
delaying.
and hey, let's, whatever. But it's the memories and the things that you make, and especially if you love volleyball, because of where I'm at now in my life, like post college career, kind of semi-retired, that kind of stuff, where you're going to like the USA volleyball events, you're playing the local tournaments, you're getting into more of like your adult league stuff, right? Like all of those things. That is the stuff that without the college experience, you don't get to have that kind of conversation and being like, oh yeah, you were at Grandview at 20, bro, we played you. Like, oh shit, what's up, brother?
Yep.
How you doing? Like all
Yep.
that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely a thing of just be honest with your kiddos. That's all. You know what I mean? If you're a coach that's got college kids on the recruit, like just let them know exactly how it's going to be. And if you don't have that to fall back on, use your connections. That's also what it's for,
Dude, the volleyball world is so small, and I talk about it all the time with everybody.
Crazy
That
small.
you're gonna go there and you're gonna be like, oh wait, you did this, you did that, or you played at this club team, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, we played against you, and it's like you're gonna find somebody in that. She's gonna go to that school. She's gonna find somebody that she's gonna relate to, like right
Exactly.
away, and that's what it is.
Literally, there is a picture of me and Tim playing against each other. Like we found out like the third day we were at Hope. I was just going through pictures, and he's like, "Hold up, that was you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my god, wait, Tim, that's you." So we played against each other in Chicago the year before, and just didn't even know. And then we ended up being roommates. Like that was some
Dude, that
crazy
is
so
stuff.
crazy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, so
You guys played each other? Or?
Yeah, in club. Wait, I thought I told the story. In the
when
pod.
he was at Seaside.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, Seaside. Yeah,
With Gus?
my junior year, his senior year, and then he ended up playing my friend in the JUCO state championship my senior year of high school, and then the year after that, I went to Hope. Then in my
I
sophomore
always
year,
forget
Shao
that. I always
transferred
forget
in.
that Shao is my age. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a young graduate
Yeah.
of 09.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, gentlemen, we did it. It's another pretty solid episode about freshman freakouts and like more so those big life-changing decisions, especially transitioning from a high school player to a college athlete, and then college athlete to a coach or whatever we're doing now. Who knows? Covered a lot of ground. Solid work
Degenerate
today,
stuff.
gentlemen. If you got stuff that you want to talk to us about, we're on the internet sometimes, so we're going to let you know where to find us. Keone, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Kayonee. That's KAYOHKNEE.
And Nolan, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at NolanKYT, NOLANKYT.
Last but not least, Mr. Jared Shirai, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram and Twitch at JShirai, JSHIRAI, and Twitter at JShirai808.
And I am Jalen Holston. You can find me on Instagram at @byjalen. You can find me on Twitter at Jalen Holston. You can find me on Twitch at MochaThanos_LGG. And that's another great week of Team Huddle. Covered a lot of ground. Throw this out to somebody that might be on their way to college, maybe. And tune back in next week when we got some more good content for you. I've been me, you've been you, and from all of us here at Poi and Soy, good vibes and love, everybody.
Bang, bang.
Shoot, Spada!